rising, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Curtain with Ade and Ram. Today for our special edition of Poets Corner 2, where we have invited poets from around the world, everywhere, to share their work, their art, their creativity. Some people, it's for the first time, so we're extremely thankful for everybody who joined us today. So thank you very much, all of you, for coming on. And how are you doing, Ade?
I'm doing pretty good. I had my coffee and some meditation, breakfast.
Yes,
I had my oats.
Yes, so thank you very much. So we have some poets already. So already here joining us is Eleonora. Hi, Eleonora.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Shmita.
Hi, Ran.
And Robin, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. Lovely to be here.
Thank you very much. Okay, then I think we'll get started. Shmita, could you tell us where you are? And
I'm in Dubai at the moment, yes.
What time is it where you are?
It's 6 p.m.
Okay. Oh, before we carry on, I know there are some people who are busy today, so if you have to go off and do things, I know some of you are taking time out of your day, so please feel free that you don't have to stay on for the whole show, so thank you very much. Shmita, would you like to start us off?
Yeah. So what would you say? I lived in UK for 18 years, and I used to be working as a head of art for 10 years. And then obviously I'm into painting. And at the moment in Dubai, I exhibited in two exhibitions, and one of them was which was very much appreciated, my painting. It's called Shakti. You want me to speak about that painting?
Please.
Yeah, so it's Shakti it's for cosmic level, it's wife of Shiva, but it also means prana, the life force. And Shakti, obviously in English, means power. In Arabic, it's Kwa. And it has a third eye, which is the mindfulness, the highest state of consciousness. So the reason of my painting is women empowerment, basically, And I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. It's here. Can you see the painting?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So you see the third eye. It's as I said, it's a highest state of consciousness, and the whirlpool behind the painting shows the toxic world. I mean, how as a mother, as a daughter, work colleague, we day to day we are overwhelmed with the demands of life. Every day we go through the challenges and expectations from all sides of the society. And the forehead, which is a third eye, which enables us, which shows that we are getting affected, but the third eye is helping us to, it's a mindfulness, basically, to be aware. That awareness is helping us to overcome that stressful situation. And it gives us the calmness, the serenity, and helps us to tackle the life. That was the theme of my painting. Yeah. And I really wanted to do it because, as women in our society, we just go through so many different challenges. And yeah, it was very much appreciated. But that's my little words about my painting.
Thank you, Shmita. Eleonora, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question for Smita. First of all,
Yes.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love the meaning of it, and I love what you're trying to do. But could we see it again? Could you hold it so we can have a good look for a few seconds and really appreciate your? Yes, beautiful.
Can you see the work? Yeah. So that's the whirlpool, the toxic world, and that's the third eye.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is, so.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eleonora.
And keep going. Don't stop painting because it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Smita. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Ren.
Robin, do you have a
I
question?
just had a question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Shmita, I think your painting is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Can you you mentioned the toxic, which I with like the concentric circles of the orange.
Yes, the whirlpool. Yes.
But are they looking through branches or wood, or what is the other bits around?
Yes, because you see, Shakti has got various interpretation. It also means Prakriti, the nature. Okay, the life force. So Shakti here is representing many things. That's why initially, I explained that Shakti represents power. It is also the women. It is also the Prakriti. So everything is Shakti. So in today's world, it is so much in danger. Like so much, it's toxic basically. And with this third eye, it is helping us to go inside and understand, and with deeper emotional mastery, we can overcome this, we can handle the stress of life.
Yeah.
So that's what it is depicting.
It's great. Do you do any other paintings with the other chakras, like the heart chakra or any other?
No, not really. So my this is something, because the theme, the exhibition theme was perception. So that was my perception, and that's how it. The inspiration was. But no, I've never done that painting based on heart chakra. To be honest with you, that could be my second. Well, you never know.
Never know.
Yes. But thank you for appreciating it.
I really do. And you mentioned that it was up in Dubai. Is that something? Will it be up in Dubai again, or will you be showing it in the UK? What are your plans for this?
I would love to. I would love to give a chance to display, because while I was in UK, I participated, and that's my journey started in an exhibition which was organized by David Shepherd. He's no more now, the wildlife artist. And basically, I exhibited 2 of my pieces. I mean, while I was teaching, I never wanted to paint, because every day from 8 till 5, I was teaching the students how to paint. And, so I used to get really exhausted. But this lady came up to me and she said she would like some of the boys from our school to exhibit their work, including me. And I said, oh, wow, this is too much. I have never painted for quite some time, like a serious painting. Obviously, sharing a platform with David Shepherd is itself a big honor. And but actually, she motivated me, to be honest with you. She was like 70-year-old lady, and she said, you must do it. And that's how my journey started as an artist.
Thank you, Smita.
Thank you, Eleonora. Thank
sharing
you.
your work. Thank you very much. And
thank you so much.
Just arrived. Thank you very much. So, Smita, one day maybe we'd like to have you on the show to talk about your art in more depth.
I would love to do.
Yeah,
sure.
That would be great.
Absolutely, it'll be an honor.
So, thank you very much to Smita for sharing her work all the way in Dubai. And it's wonderful that all these different art forms can come together and we can all share what we're doing here today. So thank you very much. Eleonora,
hi.
would you like to share your art with us today?
I would like to share one of my form of arts. Well, I would like to share something that I wrote, and I'm not. I always like to write my whole life, and I was writing. I had like 30 diaries, like big, since I was very little. And then I stopped a few years ago. And so what I would like to read today is a poem in Italian that I wrote in 1994. And And then if there is time, if you guys want to, there is another poem that I wrote a few days ago, and it really connects to that. So it's very interesting. So it's kind of, but I don't want to spoil it. So if there is time, when I read the second one, I'll explain a little bit. But the first one is in Italian. So I'm going to read in Italian, even though you guys don't understand, but I think you still get the energy and the vibration of each word. And then if you guys want afterwards, I can not translate, but tell you a few things about what it is. So it's called Solitudine, which is solitude. It goes like that. Solitudine, cosa sei? Da dove vieni? Mi assali, mi pungi dentro, mi trasporti nell'oscurità più profonda. Mi fai così paura, mi terrorizzi. Ti evito in ogni modo possibile, perché mi struggi il cuore. A tal punto che non posso più respirare. Come sogno un giorno di riuscire invece ad accoglierti, apprezzarti, guardarti, ascoltarti, senza la sensazione di morire, ma invece approfittare delle tue visite per vedere più nel profondo dentro di me e finalmente crescere senza quel pulsante bisogno di nascondermi e non avere più paura. So that's it.
Thank you, Eleonora. One of the important things about today's Poet Corner show was to get stories from different languages and from different places. And I know that sometimes, as Eleonora said, we may not understand the words, but we can feel it, what's going on. So I think to get away from just hearing it in English, to hear people speak in the languages. And I think we learn a lot by hearing things in different voices, in different languages.
Mm. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Truly beautiful poem. And yeah, there's something about hearing it in another language, poetry, because I can certainly feel it. And sometimes if I'm hearing something in English, I think I know, what is being said, and trying to, there's some biases involved in it. And it feels more fresh when I hear it this way, because it just feels like the frequencies or something in the words and, are really getting through easier without the filters that are there when I'm hearing it in my own language, if that makes sense.
Mm. Thank you very much, Eleonora. Robin, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Eleonora, I'd just like to say your purple top is amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to say that's amazing. I had the pleasure of having some time with Eleonora this morning already. And,
Yeah.
One of the things we talked about was listening to our bodies.
Yeah.
And I think it's very similar to what Ade just said. I heard that in parts of my body that aren't used to listening, if that makes any sense. So I found it really touching, and I felt it. It's funny you talking about chakras today. I felt here in my heart that poem. So I have no idea, from a translation perspective, what it meant. Only that it was solitude. But I'd really like to hear the difference between what you did a few days ago as well, to see the difference. But I thought it was not understanding it from a mind perspective, or the conscious mind. I think I felt it more with my subconscious mind.
Mm.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Eleonora. Again, it's wonderful to hear these different voices and to hear people's perspectives and how they receive these voices. So thank you very much. Robin, would you like to share with us?
Sure, I would, but if Bido wants to go first, I'm more than happy to wait.
In fact, firstly, I will introduce Bida to the group. Bida, who I've known for a long, long time, and I'm so pleased that Bida is here today. Bida, I'll introduce you. Shmita, Robin, Eleonora, and Ade. We can't hear you yet, Bida.
Now you can hear me, yeah?
We can hear you now, Bida. Yes.
Hi, I was just telling you, I was teaching. I just coming out straight away for RAN for some reason. I have to say, I'm so impressed about Eleonora and Smitha. The way you gave your poem and your pictures is actually, even though I don't understand the language you put in the picture or in Italian language, but you feel, as Robin said, is touching deeply your feelings, mainly your thoughts and your where you come from. I can even sense the culture. I can even sense the your pain or your worries, or it just listening to the language makes me really feel what you are feeling, and it's so touching. I've got a poem. Surprisingly, Eleonora, I've written this one in 1994, the month before I came to England. Believe it or not. Just before I start, I have to tell to Ran, you are still in our mind. He wasn't just a teacher for the kids, he was a mentor for so many colleagues. I mean, till now, we all talk about you. Tom, myself, Karen, Scott, everyone remember you, only the good things. Even when I was children. I mean, this is the reality. That's why we are here. Just not to take too much time for yourself. I'm going to say the poem. To be honest with you, it was so simple. The language I've used, it was that time. I know I'm an expert now, but the language, it was so simple. I'm going to say it and tell me what do you think. The title of my Arabic poem is Where Am I? من أين أبدأ؟ وأين المفر؟ من أين أخوض هذه المعركة؟ قد وجدت نفسي بين أحضان هذا العصر الذي اختاره غيري. أين أنا؟ صح، كان صمتي علامة استفهام، لكن الآخرين رأوها علامة إعجاب. كيف ذلك؟ لا أعرف. لما أعرف ذلك الوقت أنني سوف أجد نفسي هنا وليس من الدنيا سعادة. أصبح الدفء في ظلام. Sorry, because I wrote it down in أصبح الدفء بظلام. ولكن البرد في النور. ماذا أنتظر؟ لا أعرف. ماذا عن غد؟ لا أعرف. أين أنا؟ التغيير في يدي اليمنى والانتظار في يدي اليسرى. أعيش كل يوم لحدة. عسى غدا له معنى. سنة مضت وسنة جات وأنا أصرخ بصمت. أتمنى أن أهدئ نفسي وأقولها سيأتي يومي تشرق فيه شمسا وتنير قلبي وعقلي معا. ليس اليوم، ليس غدا، لقد مر وقتا طويلا. شاب فيه رأسي وضعفت عيناي وحرقة فؤادي كما هي. يقولونني أنني مريضة. ليتني كنت طبيبة ونفسي مداويا. هذا حزني وألمي أعيشه مساويا. بيني وبينك أنت أيها الزمن إلى الأبد. This is it.
Lovely. Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it so much. Thank you.
Oh, that's
beautiful.
so touchy.
Thank
I
you.
love the vibration of the words and the language and how it was, really. I just loved it. Yeah.
Both Eleonora and you didn't understand the languages, but it was like a language of heart. The way you guys expressed it, it's so touchy. It's really touched the soul. Yeah, I think it's a soul language.
So did you say you wrote it in 1994? Did I hear that correctly?
It was July 1994, just a month before I moved to England.
Oh, and what inspired you to write it?
This one I had really hard time. Just before I came, we had. I'm not sure if you heard about the dark 10 years we had in North Africa. It was a civil war.
Yeah.
And I had to move out, and we decided, me and myself and my brother, to move to England, where my sister used to live around here. So we, just the month I was thinking, is it go or stay, or what should I do? But I made decision, and I wrote this one, and I just left it there, left it with my mom. And after 3 years, it was 1997 when I got my first son. I told my mom, can you just send it to me? And she sent it by post, because at that time we weren't so good in emails and this.
Yeah.
And I still have it. I scanned it and I put it on my computer.
Wow.
Yeah. It was nearly the feelings, what I felt about fighting the battle, and found myself, the silence I had, and the admiration of a new world, and everything was combined in just, when you think about so many stuff in your head, you want to find a solution, but there is no solution. You just have that thought, and you wish things will change in the future.
Yeah. And that sometimes is results in beautiful poetry.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's amazing, because you see that there's so many incredible stories out there that we can all hear and all learn from. And to see people, you see people every day, and inside them are incredible experiences that here right now we have the honor to hear. So thank you all of those who have spoken so far. And it's really beautiful to just hear, again, the different languages and different ways spoken. And for just the fact that you're here and you're sharing your work. That's amazing. So thank you very much, Bida. Robin, would you like to?
Sure, absolutely. So where am I? So I, like everyone here, Ron is a good friend of mine. And one day he went, why don't we do a sci-fi piece? So I went, okay, why don't we do a sci-fi piece? Why not? So I've been, for the last 6 months, writing a science fiction play, which I think we're going to film as well. It's called Teleport. And I think Bida's Usama, I think is Bida's son Usama, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I got to compliment you on the children you've raised, because this young man has done some amazing work for us, and I just think it's going to be amazing. So thank you so much. But so Ron and I have been talking about this for a while, and so as things just percolate in the mind, I started writing a story about a scientist whose name is James Marion Simmons, who takes on a decommissioned military teleportation project. So it's the US military has given him 3 years to make teleportation of a human reality, or they're going to sell the project, they're going to take it away from him, and they're going to sell it to the highest bidder. So hours before his inaugural human trial, cyber criminals hack the teleportation device. So with the eyes of the world on the lab, billions of investment in the balance. And so with less than 30 seconds left on the clock, James Marion Sims, he's got to decide how far he's willing to go to make his dream of human teleportation a reality. So that's pretty much the premise of the story, and it's all based around manipulation. And I think the reason I chose the subject or the theme of manipulation, because I think it's something that it's a challenge that we all face in our lives, in our daily lives, in our work, and really being able to get through, dare I say, the rubbish to find out who you really are, rather than just being manipulated by people to do things for them. So the piece I'm going to read is probably a minute or two long. It's part of the backstory of one of the main characters. Her name's Alina Eldridge, and she's the sole remaining PhD student working in the lab. And this piece kind of explores the sinister past behind the teleportation project. Okay, so one day Anne woke up to find herself in a laboratory, strapped down on a treatment table. She untied her shackles and tried to find her way out. En route, she saw an office with a file on the desk marked confidential. She opened the file to see a letter from the CIA to scientists regarding the treatments they'd been administering. The nootropics drugs were designed to unlock unknown psychic abilities in their patients, which the US military could nurture to use to remote detonate bombs. On her way out, Anne saw Yuri, who's her husband, lying unconscious in another laboratory. Quietly, Anne tried to wake him, but Yuri was not responding. She heard a noise. It was coming from behind a door located in the corner of the room. The door had a sign on it, Room 213, and a large red light flashing, "Do not enter." Anne opened the door to see a man in a white lab coat sticking a 12-inch syringe into the side of the head of an unconscious teenager. At the end of the room, there was an open hatch onto a furnace. Two men, dressed head to toe in radiation suits, were throwing the corpse of a child into the furnace. Anne screamed, and all three men turned to look at her. She slammed the door shut and ran to Yuri and shook him furiously. Her efforts were in vain. She turned to see an axe smashing through the locked door. The next second, Anne and Yuri were back at their home. Afraid for their lives, they knew their lives and that of their newborn baby, Nora, were in mortal danger. But where could they go? Nowhere was safe. So that's part of the backstory of one of the main characters. Thank you. And it's all around...
Amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's all about human testing, which is actually all based on true stories. So the US government tested on minority groups, black men, tested syphilis on them. And it was only in 1996 where they actually apologized. And there was only one remaining person alive at the time. So there's a lot of stuff within the whole play and the whole script that's all based on truth, a lot of truth and a lot of stories, which you may have heard of, things like the Philadelphia experiment, where the USS Eldridge, this space in 1943, was, I think they were testing invisibility, but instead of making the USS Eldridge invisible, they actually teleported it 200 miles away to Virginia, and then it came back. But the problem was the people that were on the ship weren't the same afterwards. Now, there's a lot of trajectory about it, and it's like, is it true or isn't it? But the whole piece is based around teleportation, human testing, and really, as I said before, the theme is all around manipulation of people, people being manipulated for money, for fame, but really understanding, what's of true value to humans.
Thank you very much, Robin. Robin, can I ask you one question? What is it like starting with the blank page in front of you?
So it's not too bad, actually. It's daunting at times, but what I've found is if you can plan it, the writing actually becomes quite easy. Now, I think the challenge I had when we did our last piece called The Chair was that I just wrote. And look, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think people should write and do whatever works for them. So we went through about 26 versions of the play before we put it on, and we put it on 3 times last year, and it was, it was Virgin on Fun. It was amazing. But this time round, I thought, you know what, I wanted to take it to a different level, and I wanted to come up with a process. So I started reading a few books, and it was all about planning. So, if you understand the plan of where you want to go, so literally you work backwards from the end all the way to the beginning, everything actually flows so much easier, because if you work from the backwards forward, you've only got one place to go to. Whereas if you start at the beginning, you can absolutely end up anywhere. So that's the strategy I put to this. And I've done a bit more work, because one of the problems I think we had when we did The Chair was actors, like yourself and Francesca and Teresa, that I think when they came onto the stage, they didn't really know enough about their character. They had to ad-lib a bit and learn a bit about it. But this time, I thought, you know what, I wanted to give them a complete view of the history of their character, so that the moment they walk onto that stage, they know 1,000,000% everything that's going on with that character, their backstory, where they've come from in that last hour, and what they're trying to achieve. So that's why I was doing the backstory. So to answer your question, yeah, it is every day is different as well. So some days I'm like, oh God, how am I going to do this? But I do have a plan to fall back on, so it does, in a sense, comfort me.
Thank you very much, Robin.
No problem.
Thank you, Robin.
Janet joined us a few minutes ago. Janet is somebody who I've come to know over the last few weeks, and Janet has an open mic night at the Woodfield Pavilion, and had the honour to perform one of my songs in Janet's night. So Janet, there is Shmita, Bida, Robin, Eleonora, and Ade.
Hi, lovely to meet you all.
Thank you for joining us, Janet. Would you like to say a small bit about the Woodland Pavilion,
Yeah, certainly. So it's a little space on the middle of Tooting Common, well, sort of on the edge of Tooting Common, and it's a community space. And my pleasure is to be able to step back and let other people use the space for all sorts of things. We do art, we do performance. I work with some other charity groups. We're not council run, so that gives us a lot of freedom. It makes it quite hard because we've got to pay for ourselves, but it works somehow. The open mic nights started by this young man called Seb, and he and I talked about what he wanted to do, and I said yes, which is a great thing to be able to do to people, especially when they're younger and they're trying to make their way in sharing creative spaces. And he makes a really warm and safe space for people to try stuff out. And so our 4th one is on the 10th of March. So
yes.
There's still some spaces. Ryan will be performing. Yes, that's very good. So there's spaces. No, it's a pleasure. The tickets are there for everybody, so we get to share it, which is really nice. And it's a good evening. It's a cheap evening, which also helps because that makes it more possible for people. So if you would like to be part of it, if you go onto either the Woodfield website or the Woodfield Instagram page, the links are through there if you want to.
I'll share the link when it's put up, Janet.
That'd be brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah,
because I haven't got that sort of technology. I'm rubbish. But I've got something I would like to read. Ron's actually... Sorry, it's the dog leaving the room. Ron's heard this performed by not by me. So when I write, because I write as well, and I'm a photographer as well, it's usually an immediate reaction to something that's happened. So whilst this is not the most common of subjects, it was something that happened and was really quite emotional for me, which sounds mad because this is entitled My Cars, All 5 of Them. So I'm going to read that to you if that's okay.
Thank you.
My cars, all 5 of them. I've just said goodbye to my 5th car. A proper goodbye, as he's very much not coming back. We parted ways at a breaker's yard in Blackburn. A sad farewell on my part. I'm not so sure about Patrick. A stoical, no-nonsense sort of thing. He was brought up in Belfast. I bought him from a mate, thinking he'd last maybe a year. He managed 10. Probably could have done more, but there comes a point when it rains on the inside as the sunroof leaked so much, and you have to fill the radiator every day, that the end is really forced upon you. But I was really fond of that crappy old banger. Reliable, smelly, hard-working, a pit pony of a car. My dad and my stepfather both became terminally ill at the same time on opposite sides of the country. Christmas they were fine, and by mid-March I had lost them both. Between New Year and spring, every weekend flew by filled with drives to Liverpool or Norwich, sometimes both. Patrick became my uncomplaining lifeline, my headspace, my source of loud music and Agatha Christie audio tapes I'd found in charity shops. He became the space I needed to reconvene, recharge, remember. Before Patrick, there was Vince, a bit of a flash rough diamond of a character, handsome but not pretty. A 1971 Triumph Vitesse convertible, if you must know, navy blue with a white roof. Not reliable, he'd often break down, but it was never serious. Nothing a few enthusiasts peering under the bonnet couldn't sort. He loved being the centre of attention, the focus for everyone. He had a charm, a nostalgic air, always caused a stir in that really cool but nice boy at school kind of way. Not threatening, but a twinkle in his eye. Sydney was before Vince, a small blue 2CV. We drove around France together, but none of the other 2CVs waved back. We slowed the traffic over the Pennine Way when I used to drive over the A6 from Chesterfield to Chester. We moved to London together, packed from boot to bonnet with my cat, my plants, and all my worldly goods. A new adventure that neither of us were really sure of, but how bad could it be when you could always just pack up and disappear for a few days? He was a noisy car, too noisy a car for a radio, so you had no choice but to think games of if I went shopping on my own or making phrases out of the letters of the overtaking number plates, always overtaking. My first car was Daphne, as yellow as a sunny day, but burst into flames on the A549 as I was off to teach noisy kids at the theatre club one Saturday morning. Even the hug of a sympathetic fireman was of no comfort. Snot I had for 5 months, another 2CV. They are a car with their very own personality. Green, obviously, and to be fair, barely roadworthy, but I left a bully of a man one day, and Snot was my great escape. Even though one of the headlights was rather temperamental and would slip, lighting the trees above me rather than the road in front. I have loved these cars. They have been parts of the movements of my life, of my chances of freedom, of action, of adventure. They have stories of their own, memories they've made with me. A bit like friends, but ones who let me do all the talking.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
It's funny to get attached to such things, but yeah.
Where did the inspiration for that poem? Were you sitting in the car when you came up with it, or?
No, I literally had just left Patrick at the breaker's yards, and I was crying, and I think the kind of it's breaker's yard are greasy, kind of smelly bits of car kind of places, and I don't think that was a normal reaction for somebody who was getting rid of a junky old car. And I was really bereft, and I suddenly realised there were so many moments in that car. My daughter had been in the car, the dog was in the car. You know, those little kind of adventures and those silly moments. And I thought, actually, a car's more than just a vehicle sometimes.
Yeah.
So it made me feel better by just literally writing it all down. I wrote it on my phone first and then transposed it. But it was literally that the day that had happened, and I felt guilty for it's like putting down a pet. It was awful.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really odd when it's a crappy old car, but because so many things had happened, especially with my dad and my stepfather, and I loved them both, and this hideous thing was happening, literally zipping across the country to go and see them or see my stepmother or my mum, and it was all so emotional. And those things all came out when I was saying goodbye to this car.
Yeah.
So I felt he deserved more than just to be left behind. So I wrote about him.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's I don't know. It feels like it could be a film too.
Yeah, that'd be quite fun.
Yeah, this is a story where the character is going through all these circumstances in life and what the car represents through each one. There's a different car that represents a part of the life.
Yeah.
Because when you were reading it, so visual too.
Thank you.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Thank you.
I think that's one of the great things about sharing your work, because we don't really know the effect it has on someone, and we may never even know what they feel about it. But they've gone away and they've taken your poem or your story or your artwork, and to them, it's changed something in them. They've got something from it. So the work that happens with our art, it's not for us, it's for people out there and how they resonate with it. And it's really amazing how it affects people. And you never know, and someone far away one day might hear your poem or your story or see your artwork, and they might just be amazed by it, and it will change something inside of them forever. I know I've had that with songs, with music, with films. And that person will never know the effect their artwork had on me.
It's why it is special to share it. It's something I've only done recently. The first time was at the first words at the Woodfield that we had. I've never read stuff of mine before. I've written for years, but I've never read it. And it is really emotional. It's like you're handing something to somebody and just hoping they're going to be kind to it.
Yeah. Because when you read it, I remember my dad's light green Volkswagen Beetle that we went to cricket every weekend with. And of course, it was like Herbie. I don't know, some of you know Herbie. Yeah, Herbie. We called the car Herbie. And until this day, I love the shape, the look, and the sound of the VW Beetle. Thank you very much, Janet.
Thank you.
Ade, do you have a poem?
Yeah, I do, but I got to take a quick bathroom break. Ron and I are doing a 30-day water challenge where we've been drinking a gallon of water a day. I'll be right back. Ron, can you fill up the space?
I will do that. Okay, so while Ade is doing his toilet break, I'm going to go with this poem I have here. And it's called The Man Who Was a Failure. He introduced himself as a man who had failed 1,000,000 times, someone who had fallen every time he climbed. He said he was a man whose life was one continuous mistake. There was error and judgment in every move he made. But I'd never seen a man so calm and serene. There was an aura about him, so obviously at peace. I asked him, if failure and error are your way, why is there always a smile upon your face? He said, what you call a mistake is just a word. I don't judge my experience, so I'm not concerned. I treasure all experiences. I embrace the totality of life. To know you can't understand what you go through at the time. What you call failure is where I learned the most. What you call the end is just a way to another door. When I was alone, I learned to love myself. When I was ill, I learned to treasure health. When I stopped letting other people define how I should feel, I recognized instantly what was for real.
Lovely.
And that was the man who was a failure. And I think this came from how we can change words, and maybe mistake is one of the greatest words out there because we've tried. So, and the man who was a failure saw the word in a completely different way. So maybe if we look at things a different way, it wasn't a mistake. I learned something. I spoke to Robin about this when we were doing the play, and there was two things we thought of. Let's enjoy it and let's learn. And from those two things, everything will be okay. Ade, you're back.
Yep. So, by the way, tomorrow's day 30 of the 30-day water challenge thing.
Yes,
So,
and it has been a challenge. I can say that.
yeah.
Has it helped?
Yeah. Yeah, it has. I've noticed some differences. And one of the things is noticing how much I like water. It tastes really good. So now I look forward to it. The bathroom thing, it still like hasn't really settled. But so I try to time it, when I'm not somewhere, driving or something. But yeah. So I'm gonna read the poem. I have it on my phone.
Thank you, Ade.
Okay. I don't have a name for this one. I'm reaching for something that isn't there. The habit of these urges still linger. Ghosts from a time long gone, but I still look for myself, still holding on to time, like sand slipping through my fingers. The pleasures from this ancient tomb still in my DNA. They still call me by my name, although their voice has been drowned out. Or they have been found out that this path has come to an end. So I wait at this station to get on board the next creation. As tiring as the journey can be, it's just various parts of me trying to find their way home, searching for something known, but all is unknown. Even the resistance has lost its breath. Red, blue, and white lights blinking to the tune of silence, squeaks and groans, furniture and people, expansion and contraction of our belly. Wind knocking on the window, but we are shut in for the night, and still this seems not enough. So I try to awaken the beast, but he is tired too. Imagine that. He got there before you. So that's it.
Thank you, Ade.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Elisabetta has just joined us. Elisabetta, can you hear us? And she's in Italy. Yeah. Ciao, Elisabetta.
Hello.
Buongiorno.
Sono in macchina.
Ciao.
He's driving in the car. Sorry, I need to translate. Is that okay?
Come stai? Sì. Come stai, Elisabetta?
Bene, bene, grazie. Voi?
Molto bene.
Bene, ciao Ade.
Elisabetta, Eleonora, could you
sure.
say that Elisabetta can start now?
Elisabetta, quando vuoi puoi iniziare. Looks like she's frozen.
Okay.
Eli,
Brian,
puoi iniziare quando vuoi.
posso iniziare? Io?
Sì.
See?
Ora io come faccio a farvi vedere la storia? Questa è la mia storia. Un giorno il caffè, mentre stava bollendo, pensò nel suo cervello: che futuro avrò se qui rimarrò? Pensò, pensò e l'idea gli brillò. Seconda storia. Il caffè così e l'idea sempre lì, con il treno partì per la campagna di lì. Dalla mucca andò e dell'idea gli parlò. Col tuo latte potrò così ridere un po' e felice sarò. E la mucca accettò. La macchina prese per andare in paese con il latte cortese nel negozio borghese. Da quel giorno partì per il mondo così il cappuccino da lì e tuttora anche qui lo gustiamo così. Finita.
Finished.
Grazie, Elisabetta.
Prego, ce l'ho fatta anche in macchina.
Elisabetta is in a car in pizza somewhere driving. So that Elisabetta has joined us today is just remarkable.
Vi ringrazio.
Ringraziano tanto che hai. I'm gonna tell her what you just said, Rana. Is that okay?
Sì.
Che hai anche in questa situazione hai fatto, ti sei collegata e hai fatto la tua storia. Bellina, tanto, è piaciuta a tutti. Grazie.
Anche se non capiscono l'italiano, però grazie a voi.
Elizabeth, Eleonora, could you translate this to Elisabetta as well, please?
So,
Elisabetta is an extraordinary artist with paint, with words, with clothes and designs and creating things.
allora, Brian ha detto che sei un artista eccezionale, sia di pittura, per scrivere, per creatività, per fare vestiti, per tutte le cose manuali.
Grazie, ringraziamo tanto.
And whenever I go to Italy, she's always shown me her work, and whether it be in the garden with plants, she has wonderful olive trees in her back garden. Elisabetta is the one who redesigned some of my clothes that I give to Elisabetta. So thank you, Elisabetta.
Ha detto che tutte le volte che viene in Italia tu gli fai vedere tutte le tue opere, sia a livello di arte, a livello di piante, fiori, e poi tu sei la sua modellatrice di vestiti preferita, che gli accomodi tutti i vestiti.
Lo so.
He's very grateful.
Vai Brian, te porta, te li faccio volentieri. Te sei la mia musa ispiratrice.
So you inspiring her by bringing your clothes to her, and you give her push to create more as well, and with your questions about everything she does. So you really keep her inspired.
Grazie, Elisabetta. Grazie.
Prego. Ora ragazzi che devo disattivare il microfono e l'audio?
No, solo
video?
sorry, she's asking what she's got to do now, so I'll tell her she can stay, obviously, but just
Just to her, yes.
puoi stare, ma togli l'audio.
Ok. Allora un salutone a tutti.
She say hi to everybody and nice to meet everybody.
Allora,
Hi, Elizabeth. Hello.
She's my sister, by the way.
I love your animated artwork.
Yeah, wonderful. Really
Mi è
wonderful.
piaciuto.
Beautifully done. Very colorful and very expressive in its own ways,
Yeah, it was very nice. I saw that, but many years ago, because it was one of our projects at school. I was a little girl, and now seeing it is very interesting. And it's actually, she put it all in rhymes, And it's actually, she invented how basically the cappuccino was born, right? It was all started from the little coffee machine, thinking, oh yes, I'm boiling here every day in the same story, but what more can I do? So she went to see the cow, and together they thought about making cappuccino. And now in the world, their collaboration is actually, everywhere in the world they're drinking cappuccino. So I think it was very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I especially love it. Anything that has to do with coffee.
Ade.
Okay. Ron, do you have something to share?
I think, yeah, I have another one, but Eleonora has her second poem.
Yeah.
That is a continuation from the first one, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Shall I go with it?
Yes, please, Eleonora.
Okay, so I'm just, first of all, hi, Janet. You were not there before, and I actually wrote you this morning. I don't know if you got my...
did. I've seen you.
And I'm so happy to see you here. So nice to meet you. Hopefully in person very soon. And I love your space and what you do. That was just something I wanted to say, because I really appreciate. About the poem that I read before, it was a poem that I wrote in 1994. So I was a little girl. It was about me feeling terrified and petrified of being alone. And it was shortly after my mom had passed, and I could just write about stuff. I couldn't really express my feelings. And that was it, really. And now last week, I felt that I was thinking, and because of this podcast, I was thinking to read this poem, and I felt like how everything is developed in me about that feeling and how it's changed. So I wanted to write about that. I just felt basically the need to continue to write about that. So it was like kind of a reply to my first one. And also this one is in English, because naturally it just came to me to write in English. So the title is Solitude, a grown-up perspective. And this is how it goes. Dear Solitude, we meet again. I know you hardly recognize me. That shy, dark, serious, sad little girl is now a grown-up woman with such a dense life journey, written all over her face, all over her body, her skin. Yes, you also see the length of her energy field around the body. It's gone really thin. You are looking at a little girl, but you can't see her. And that's why, because you're looking on the surface. So you will not find her. But look now, look with your inner eyes. There she is. She has not moved. She's right there, under this older and tired skin. This is like I was all these years in an amusement park. I took many rides, ups and downs, excitement, fears, loud noises, quiet times. And yes, now I even speak to you in a different language. But you know what? This is because that caterpillar has now finally become a beautiful butterfly. Not everybody can see that and appreciate that. But this doesn't change the fact that she is true, real, present. And she's now transformed with this huge privilege to be able to spread her healed wings into the world. She can now do that because she's not scared of who she is and was. She's no longer terrified of that loneliness. In fact, she's now embracing all the changes and all the moments of stillness. and she loves to be alone and to feel the magic that reigns in those times. And all she can do now is to fly and spread her colors, her love, her strength, and beauty, her courage.
I loved it. It's so powerful.
Thank you.
Such beautiful, Eleonora.
Thank you.
So beautiful. When did you write that?
I wrote it in 5 minutes. You know, it just kind of erupted out of me because basically last week I didn't know what to bring today. Mm-hmm. And so I was just looking to one of my very old diaries, and I just thought like, that one catch my eyes. But I felt like, shall I read that or not? Because it's kind of sad, and I wasn't sure. But then I thought, no, I'll go with that. And then 3 days after, I just felt like, but yes, I want to read that. But now everything is so different. So I felt like, what is it now then? You know. So I just wrote this, and it felt so right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful words, Eleonora, and as well that goes with your amazing artwork, which we're going to see soon as well. But thank you very much for sharing.
You're so welcome. Thank you for listening and receiving.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful, Eleonora. It was a great end to your journey there, starting and it was wonderful that it's in a different language as well. So I like the way you made it as well. So congratulations. I thought it was wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Do you find it, does your way of expressing yourself feel very different when you're in English?
Yeah, it really does. But you know what is really funny? That sometimes I naturally need this happens, right? And I don't even know how to describe it. Sometimes I need to express in English because I don't know how to do that in Italian. It won't feel right, and that sometimes the vice versa. So it's something very hard to explain. Yeah,
that's useful. It's like another weapon.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, I can use them both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know how all the other artists here think, but something that Eleonora said, it just came out in 5 minutes. And I think sometimes it's not by you, but it's come through you. You're a vehicle for this work to come out. And your task is to kind of get out of the way to let it through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I say I totally agree? And the same thing is with my art. All my life, I never expressed my art because I was on the way. I was thinking, I'm not good enough. Who do I think I am to even think that I can make a piece of art? And I love it so much, but no, it's not for me. Let's do it to people who are really artists and stuff. And since I moved that out of the way and I started painting for just the joy of doing it, and everything is just coming, and I like now I cannot stop now, and I love it so much, and I don't even care about there is not it's good or it's not, because it's like exactly like you say, it's like I'm out of the way now, and it's like something that needs to express is coming, and I it's like an urge now and a necessity, and it's so beautiful, and I just love it so much. Yeah, but it's exactly like that.
I think even when you paint, Eleonora, I don't know whether you have this, like when you go away, you're painting, suddenly you feel something stops. You don't feel anything. And then when you leave it, go away, it starts coming to you. You can see, you probably want to add something, you want to change something, it flows through you more.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Does it happen to you?
I relate to that. Yes, it does. It does. But it's very much the urge of, once you get rid of all the labels and the, am I good, am I not good, are people gonna like it? It's just everything for me changes. Even with the writing, I mean, I stopped writing because I was writing writing, and for me it was therapeutic. But then I thought, I'm going to stop, because what's the point? I'm never going to share these with anybody, because it's just my writing, this silly girl, blah blah. And I never even thought of doing anything like this. And so probably if Ran would have asked me this with Ade a couple of years ago, I would have said no, because I had all that pressure. But now it's like, it's different. Is just a different meaning to it. Is the sharing and the being able to communicate with other people in a different form and connect as well. And there is no pressure, because it's not about me writing something good other people like. It's about sharing what is my truth, or it has been my truth in the moment of my life. And I felt, obviously, by writing, it was a form of me wanting to communicate that for some reason. And like Ran said before, you never know what your work or your words can actually do for another person. And we are human beings, and everything we do, I think, is just about sharing. Otherwise, what would it be in the meaning of living, really? So, yeah.
When I used to do a lot of my writing as a kind of a cathartic, something had gone on, I needed to write about it. And I used to feel like wherever I put that writing, often it's just, I like writing by hand. It's a process that helps my brain. But I feel like they're messages in a bottle. So I write them. And although I don't stick them in a bottle and throw them out to sea, I sort of emotionally do, because I let them go. And then they kind of do what they want to do. They go off. And I as an image in my head, that really helps, that when I'm writing, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be finished. It's not really a hello to anybody. It's not a statement to anybody. It just needs to go off and live its own life.
That's beautiful, that is. Ashmita, how do the colours come to you?
Interesting. I don't know. First, when I see a blank canvas, it is daunting. I don't know where to start. And then what I first do is I look for inspiration, and when that image, I get sort of an image in my mind, and then I start putting colors to it. So, for example, the last painting which I did was Colors of Life. It's sunrise. So as soon as I heard Colors of Life, sunrise came to my mind. Flash of different colors, warm colors came to my mind, because hope, that's how I relate with words and colors together. That's how I express on canvas. So it's not only just colors, it's words too. So I relate two things together to get the momentum going. Otherwise, I feel stuck. If I just think of colors, I think I'll be stuck.
Thank you, Shmita.
Welcome.
I had the image, the reason I asked the question, because I had the image of the message in the bottle, and I wanted to ask you about the colours, and somehow they're coming together. So maybe there's an idea, Robin, and I was thinking of you about an idea coming, the message in the bottle and colours. So I'll leave it there. I don't know where that's going.
And Robin, I just saw your message. Do you have to leave?
Yeah, I have somewhere to get to, because I planned from 2 till 3 UK. So
okay.
I just sent the message, and I thoroughly enjoyed today. Thank you for inviting me. I'm incredibly inspired, and I just like to say I think you're all wonderful, and it's really brave to share. especially in this society when, you know, people aren't encouraged to stand up and stand out. You know, and but you all did. You all put your heads up there, and we're all still here. And I hope you can encourage other people to do that as well, and share what I believe is your beauty, and what is, in a sense, all of us. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm being really inspired. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone, Ron, and you know, you guys, it's been absolutely amazing. Thank you. But I'm going to head off. So see you
Robin.
Bye, Robin.
Bye.
Bye, Robin. Thank you.
Bye, Robin. Bye.
I'm probably going to have to go too.
Thank you, Janet.
It's all right.
You,
I will see you again. Hopefully.
Nice to meet you, and hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, Eleonora. Smita, Ade, it's been really lovely being part of this.
Same here. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Janet, as well. And we'll share the Woodland Pavilion link when we post it, Janet.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I've got one more here, which was based, I wrote after an incident with my niece. I gave my niece my keys, because on my keys was a whistle, and she was only 5 at the time. And I had the whistle, and she said, "Ron, can I blow the whistle?" I said, "Kiara, please don't lose my keys." So of course she takes the keys, and 10 minutes later I say, "Where are they?" And she says, "I don't know." So I spent the next 2 hours looking for the keys, and they were found in the fridge. And I've got no idea what she was doing. And it reminded me of some of my own forgetfulness. So this one is a bit of fun. Have you ever been amazed by your own forgetfulness? Like looking for your sunglasses that are on your head, searching up and down for a car you never drove, leaving water boiling on the stove. The million places I've lost my keys, in my bag, in the door, in the pocket from last week. I've lost my keys when they were in my own hand, and the random places that I'll never understand. I found my keys in the cupboard, in the fridge, in the car, under the bed. I've lost umbrellas, gloves, hats, and scarves. Lost how many accessories. I've lost count of how many accessories have vanished. In fact, with me, they should be renamed accessories to something more appropriate to lose eventually. As for socks, who knows where they go? Some void, black hole, or quantum window. Trying to pay for the same thing twice. I forgot I had already paid the first time. Forgot a coat that I was wearing. In mid-sentence, forgot what I was saying. I have no idea of birthdays or anniversaries. Events in time are just a blur to me. Once I even forgot it was Christmas Day. My mum wasn't happy when I arrived a day late. As for the phone, have you gone through that manic rush, going through all your pockets? Leave your phone on the table, on the chair, a cafe, a restaurant, I don't have any idea where. The mobile manic, which I go through at least once a week. Then panic, then that sigh of relief when it's found and it's not been taken by a thief. As for my credit card, I've lost so many, it's hard for me to keep accurate record. I've cancelled and reordered digits, changed and sorted. I keep the replacement number on my permanent speed dial. The bane of this life. I've got no idea what my passwords are. For all my accounts, social media, banks, online stores, I can't remember the passwords at all. So I'm constantly creating new ones. Of course, you're not allowed to use the old ones, so I'll make up one just for this time, which I will have forgotten as soon as it's done. What I've lost is endless. I could go on for days. How many times I've returned home when I've forgotten something again. That nagging feeling, did I check the back door, the window, the stove? The pause when I'm talking because I've forgotten what I'm saying. There's even a pause when I've forgotten my own name. Oh man, am I going insane? I've come to terms with this way of life. Had to find a way to survive. That's to laugh at myself and cringe at the same time. I laugh even harder when I'm asked for advice. Because if only they knew how forgetful I am. I know I've seen you before, but who are you? And what do you do? This is the chaos which is my life. If you see my mind, I'm glad I lost it. If you find it, you can keep it. I don't want it back. That's forgetfulness.
Absolutely amazing. I can relate to it a little bit.
Yeah. I think we can all relate. Yeah. I really enjoyed that, Ron.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable. Very.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, Ade, it's been unless you have another poem, Ade, you'd like to read?
No, I don't think so.
It's been an absolute pleasure to hear the work today. It's been moving. I've learned a lot. I've met some new people. And it's with gratitude that I'm had the opportunity to be here and listen. So thank you very much for everyone who's here. Shmita, Eleonora, and Ade, and Janet, and Bida, and Elisabetta. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And Robin as well.
Thank you. Thank you all. I mean, thank you, Ran and Ade, Eleonora, for this platform. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Learned so much. It was a lovely experience.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Smita, yes. Is there any place people can visit your work or your?
We're in Dubai. So I've exhibited, this is my second exhibition, which is happening in Dubai International Academy till 4th of March. So far it's happening here. I don't know if I get an opportunity to display somewhere else, it will be an absolute honor for me to do that. But at the moment it's happening in Dubai.
Yeah. And I don't know if I asked what inspired the painting.
The painting which I just showed you.
Yeah.
Okay. It was women empowerment, basically, because there's so much, at the moment, and the main theme was perception, how you perceive when you look at, as we perceive things. Every individual has different way of perceiving things, and I particularly chose this because Shakti, this word, is perceived in so many various ways. Shakti, it's a Hindi word, where I come from. I come from India, but Shakti can be translated, or can be interpreted. That's the right word. As nature, Mother Nature, women. We as women, or divine goddess. And Shakti is also power, courage. So that's why I chose. That was my inspiration, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Many more to come.
Sorry?
I hope there will be many more to come because I love it. Love your paint.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next piece.
Thank you, Shmita. And I think it'd be wonderful if we could have it on a show where we can really go into depth into your work, and I think that'd be fantastic. Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, absolute pleasure of mine. Yeah, I would love to do that anytime. Let me know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, bye.